Emphasizing the impasse over the Naga political issue, social activist and former All Nagaland College Students Union president says negotiations have not generated any solution but only set back the progress of the society. Thire appeals the public to raise their voices as talks have been going on for 25 years and yet it is back to square one. All Nagaland College Students Union observes its 43rd Foundation Day cum Degree Toppers Felicitation in Kohima. Deputy Director of Directorate of Higher Education, Dr. Mendongoi Rakho, and Controller of Examination of Nagaland University, Lumami, Dr. Mong Sangba attends the event as a distinguished guest. Rongmai Naga Students Organization extends its full support towards All Tribal Students Union Manipur's 24 total shutdown on August 3. Total shutdown is to be carried out in all Rongmai inhabited areas of Manipur until demand of Assam is fulfilled. As the opposition creates ruckus over the misuse of central agencies and other issue, lower house of the parliament has been adjourned till 2 p.m. on Wednesday. Earlier, Congress MPs submitted adjournment notices in the Lok Sabha demanding a discussion over the recent searches at the offices of the National Herald by the Enforcement Directorate. The Indian badminton team claims silver medal in the mixed group match of the Commonwealth Games 2022 on Tuesday. PV Sidhu manages to earn a win in the summit clash against Malaysia in the women's single match. Good afternoon, viewers. You are watching News Now. I'm Assam. Now, news in details. Former President of All Nagaland College Students Union and social activist Teja Thire, while addressing the 43rd Foundation Day cum Degree Toppers Felicitation program of ANSU on Tuesday, Thire called on public to raise their voices on the hampering progress of Naga political issue and to raise on occasions for the greater cause of the state's interest. Thire advocated on the constraints and questioned the impediments by key players of the state, which has yet to bring a solution other than string of meetings among the negotiating parties. Reiterating upon the matter, the activists held that Government of India, which initially began the negotiation, appears apathetic to dissolve the Naga issue anytime yet. Thire was of opinion exorbitant tax payment of the 16 faction is equally responsible for the stagnant growth of business in the state. On Tuesday, All Nagaland College Students Union observed its 43rd Foundation Day cum Degree Toppers Felicitation at Muluki Conference Hall in Kohima. In addition, the program was graced by Controller of Examination of Nagaland University, Lumami, Dr. Mong Sangba as guest speaker and special guest, and the program was also attended by Deputy Director, Directorate of Higher Education, Dr. Mendongoi Rakho. In his address, Dr. Mong Sangba acknowledged ANSU for its attempt to bring quality education in the state and for having a sensible approach when any issue arose. Furthermore, he said that even if pandemic affected both students and teachers in the educational sector, especially with the online mode, which was a real challenge, nothing deterred the students from studying hard during pandemic and that their efforts was well paid off. Meanwhile, speaking at the event, Dr. Mendongoi Rakho said toppers recognized their weaknesses and focused on their strengths, while losers recognize their strengths but forget to work on their weaknesses. At the meantime, Dr. Mendongoi prevalence of corruption in Naga society and called out the society for never condemning it but instead accepting it as a way of life.
from those who have joined Nagaland University or any other university, 1919 to 2022. When Corona situation was improving, pandemic situation has improved. By the end of last year, the university, with the directive of University Current Commission, decided to go offline. But unfortunately, some students went to the street saying that they should write online examination. And even that time, I saw ANSU playing a very proactive role in trying to stop them not to go on education. Because they know, and I know, university will never buckle under pressure. Because we are accountable to University Grant Commission. And the situation had improved drastically by that time.
Fail to implement the policies and the planning. Whatever is there. Because of this, you see, I would like to remind all of us, economic development begins with human mind and ends with the human mind. So it is the mindset. It is because of the system we fail to implement the policies and the planning which are there in the government. That is why we see, but many of us, we used to blame the wrong policies, the wrong planning. I don't see anything as such wrong.
And work on other disciplines as well. If we look at the recent Nagaland University exam result, 6,770 students appeared their examination, out of which 5,705 cleared their paper. The pass percentage is 84.27%. The union is indeed happy and glad that our students are performing better.
Important things which ANSU must also realize. ANSU, when I say ANSU, it is confining to the state because the colleges are in the state of Nagaland. Those who are here. For you, we are here, we are proud of you. And we will pray that you will go beyond this success and bring laurels to the Naga society. For the first time, I could see the students union and inviting our Cube Division and our professors, lecturers, readers to come and grace the occasion instead of inviting
from those who have joined Nagaland University or any other university, 1919 to 2020.
All Nagaland Government College Teachers Association has come out in support of the All India Federation of University and College Teachers Organization demanding withdrawal of New Education Policy 2020. AIFU-CTO, in light of the issue, will be holding a dharna at Jantar Mandir, Delhi on August 3 under the slogan Safe Education for All. Major reasons for rejection of NEP includes Central University entrance test, 4-year undergraduate program, fee hikes, scrapping of MPhil, seat cut in PhD, and regulations for study webs of active learning for young aspiring minds, regulations, job loss for teachers. The organization in its statement is demanding implementation of Right to Education Act from EECE to PG level. Public spending on education at a minimum of 10% of the GDP, regulation for absorption of ad hoc and temporary teachers, filling up vacancies of both teaching and non-teaching posts on permanent basis, removal of PhD as a mandatory condition for promotions, immediate implementation of the 7th Central Pay Commission scales in Punjab and Himachal Pradesh, grants of incentives for PhD, MPhil and other higher qualifications, scrapping of NPS and restoration of pension scheme for all. Rongmai Naga Students Organization has extended its full support through a press statement. The organization has collectively agreed to the endorsement of 24 hours total shutdown from 6 p.m. on August 3, 2022 in support of all tribal students union Manipur. The total shutdown is to be carried out in all Rongmai inhabited areas of Manipur until demand of Assam is fulfilled. The shutdown is imposed on Tamenlong and Noni districts as well. RNSU has appealed to the general public to kindly cooperate with Assam. The Tenimi Youth Organization Dimapur condemned the recent incident of blank firing that took place at Sunday morning at around 2:20 a.m. at District Hospital in Dimapur. Furthermore, the organization also condemned the act of cowardice, hooliganism and goons prowling around pertaining to fear, psychosis, intimidation and threats by certain anti-social elements. Meanwhile, the organization appealed to the law enforcing agency to immediately book the anti-social elements involved in the case under the appropriate section of law. In addition, the organization also explicitly made it clear that the statement should be considered the final warning in case any such incident occur again and warned the thugs about the public wrath that can be the consequence of their actions. Taking note of hurdles faced by Naga commuters for health treatment, a patient house is to begin very soon after consultative meetings by the governments of Nagaland and Tamil Nadu. Acknowledging the land bidding by Tamil Chief Minister M.K. Stalin, Nagaland Chief Minister Niperio thanked Stalin through a letter for free allotment of 10,000 square feet land to the government of Nagaland to set up guest house to accommodate Nagas seeking medical treatment in and around Tamil Nadu. Rio thanked Stalin for providing the much needed help. The new project site is located at Barakam village in Walaja Takul of Ranitpet district, Tamil Nadu. It may be mentioned that earlier in February this year, Rio had written to Stalin underscoring the problems and hardships faced by Naga patients seeking medical treatment in Vellore and Chennai, stating that lack of proper accommodation was one of the main problems and sought allotment of land. This was followed by a follow-up meeting between Minister Tongbang Ozakam and Stalin, along with the Secretary PWD Housing, Tamil Nadu, Member Secretary of Chennai Municipal Development Authority, and also the officials of the Tamil Nadu Housing Board on February 14. On Wednesday, President Draupadi Murmu administered the oath of office to the Central Vigilance Commissioner Suresh N. Patel at Rashtrapati Bhavan in Delhi. Notably, Vigilance Commissioner Patel has been acting as the Central Vigilance Commissioner since June 2021. Meanwhile, former Intelligence Bureau Chief Arvind Kumar and ex-Consumer Affairs Secretary Avinash Kumar Srivastava have been zeroed in on by the government panel for appointment as Vigilance Commissioners in Central Vigilance Commission. Nagaland on Tuesday recorded 10 fresh COVID-19 positive cases. 3 new cases were from Woka, 2 each in Dimapur and Kohima, and 1 each in Mukokchung, Mon and Pek. With the new additions, state's total caseload rose to 35,803, while the active cases stood at 76. Meanwhile, India also reported 17,135 new coronavirus and 47 fatalities in the last 24 hours. On Tuesday, a 9-day-long art residency organized by Task Force for Music and Arts and Art for Change Foundation commenced at the Regional Center of Excellence for Music and Performing Arts in Jotsama. Furthermore, Executive Director of Art for Change Foundation, Isaac Gergan, cited that the main objective of the event is to seek out the critical dialogues that can be addressed through conversations and through the art they produce. In addition, he emphasized over creation of a cross-cultural experience whilst celebrating the context and also sought for the collaboration amongst the artists where they can really come together and build a community. At the meantime, the various activities that will be organized during the 9-day-long period are orientation, artist presentations on a daily basis where artists would share their work, a chai time where the artists would come together and share their thoughts and reflections. Along with that, resource speakers would come and share about different aspects of Nagaland. Meanwhile, TAFMA Project Director Dr. Hovital Sotu informed that a total of 7 visual artists from within and outside the state would be actively participating in the residency program. With Nagaland Olympic and Paralympic Games scheduled to be held from August 22 to 27, interested players under Zinepoto have been directed to contact officials on or before August 5. Players are to contact Chief de Mission Atoli Yepto, Deputy Chief de Mission Hekuto Sema and District Team Manager David Sema for further details. Meanwhile, list of disciplines include archery, athletics, badminton, basketball, boxing, football, short sporting, TT, tennis and wushu. Photographers of Zinepoto district on Tuesday held a meeting at Konheche Cafe with an aim to form a club. Notably, the members, after much deliberation, resolved that the nomenclature of the club will be Photography Club of Zinepoto. It further decided to relieve a nominal registration fee from every member and that the registration will be voluntary. Meanwhile, the club is set to hold its official launch program in September. On Tuesday, 8 laborers sustained injuries after an under-construction roof collapsed at Assam's Bogaingao railway station. Superintendent of Police Swapnanil Dekha said that out of 8 injured laborers, 3 are in serious condition and have been admitted to a private hospital for treatment. On Wednesday, in the first half of the monsoon session of the Parliament, the Centre tabled the Energy Conservation Amendment Bill 2022 in the Lok Sabha. Despite continued opposition protests against the misuse of central agencies by Centre to fulfill their self-interest. Earlier in the day, while the Lok Sabha remained adjourned till noon amid opposition protest, the proceedings in the Rajya Sabha continued. Furthermore, the lower house of the Parliament was further adjourned till 2 p.m. amid a ruckus created by the opposition. Notably, Congress MPs Manikam Tagore and K. Suresh submitted adjournment notices in the Lok Sabha demanding a discussion over the recent searches at the offices of the National Herald by the Enforcement Directorate. At the meantime, in the Rajya Sabha, Chairman Venkaiah Naidu refused to allow a discussion over the misuse of central agencies. It is to be mentioned that Rajya Sabha also remains adjourned till 2 p.m. Bahujan Samaj Party chief Mayawati on Tuesday announced her party's support for NDA's vice presidential candidate Jagdeep Dhankar. Notably, Mayawati took down to Twitter and stated that in view of the larger public interest and its own movement, PSB has decided to extend support to Dhankar. Notably, the election for the vice president's post will be held on August 6 and VP Venkaiah Naidu's term will conclude on August 10. On Tuesday, the farmers' unions called off the proposed protest against the Punjab government. This development comes after the farmer unions met with Punjab Chief Minister Bhagwant Mann, who accepted most of the demands of the unions. Notably, earlier, farmer organizations had announced protest against the state government for various issues, including non-payment of sugarcane dues. Following which, the Chief Minister assured that the pending dues will be cleared by September 7. At the meantime, the Chief Minister announced that his government has decided to cancel the FIRs registered against farmers for subtle burning and agitation. In addition, he also promised that a compensation of rupees 5 lakh each will be given by August 5 to families of farmers who had died during the course of agitation. Rajasthan Chief Minister Ashok Gehlot cancelled his scheduled tour to Udaipur, Abu Rod and Ahmedabad on August 3 and 4 owing to ill health. Notably, following a complaint of a viral infection, the doctors advised Chief Minister to rest for the next 2 to 3 days, for which he had to call off his tour. As a part of celebration of the 75th anniversary of the country's independence, Uttar Pradesh government is set to drap a total of 4.26 crore houses and 50 lakh government and non-government offices in tricolour. Meanwhile, the state government has already produced 3.86 crore tricolours so far against the target of 4.76 crore as a part of Har Ghar Tiranga campaign to mark Amrit Mahotsav. Incessant rain continued to lash Kerala, and landslides triggered by the continuous downpour has been reported from several parts of Kerala. At the meantime, the India Meteorological Department has issued a red alert in 10 districts of the state for Wednesday. Furthermore, heavy rainfall of more than 200 millimeters accompanied with strong winds are likely to take place. In addition, 47 relief camps have been opened in various districts following severe rains, and over 750 people have been relocated to these relief camps from affected areas. Meanwhile, Kerala Chief Minister Pinarayi Vijayan urged the people to stay alarmed and follow the advisory from Disaster Management Authority closely. The Enforcement Directorate on Wednesday assessed worth rupees 415 crore of arrested Maharashtra builders Avinash Bosale and Sanjay Chahabraipara in connection with Yes Bank DHFL Bank loan fraud. On Tuesday, the ED issued a provincial attachment order of rupees 164 crore belonging to Bosale and rupees 251 crore belonging to Chahabraya under Prevention of Money Laundering Act. The federal agency took both builders into custody in June and they are presently under judicial custody. Both ED and CBI are investing into the fraud linked to money laundering, and Yes Bank co-founder Rana Kapoor and DHFL promoter directors Kapil Wadanha and Dhiraj Wadhawan have been booked. The Wadhawans and Kapoor are also placed under judicial custody. CBI alleged that Rana Kapoor hatched a criminal conspiracy to provide financial assistance by Yes Bank Limited to DHFL. The United States and Indonesian militaries kicked off their annual joint combat exercises on Wednesday on Indonesia's Sumatra Island. In this year's combat exercises, more than 5,000 soldiers from the US, Indonesia, Australia, Japan, and Singapore are participating. The participating countries are fostering stronger ties amid China's growing maritime activities in the Indo-Pacific regions. The exercises have been designed to strengthen interoperability, capability, trust, and cooperation in support of free and open Indo-Pacific. Commanding General of U.S. Army Pacific General Charles Flynn and Indonesia's Military Chief General Andika Perkasa jointly opened the exercises at a ceremony. Combat exercises, which is scheduled to culminate on August 14, encompasses Army, Navy, Air Force, and Marine drills. On Tuesday, Indian badminton team claimed the silver medal in the mixed group match of the Commonwealth Games 2022. Indian badminton mixed team suffered a 1-3 defeat against Malaysia and had to settle for silver. Meanwhile, only PV Sindhu managed to earn a win in the summit clash against Malaysia in the women's singles match. In the first match, India's Chirag Shetty and Satwik Sairaj Rankireddy were locked in a tough first game against Malaysia's Teng Fong Arong Chia and Wui Yik and took the first match 21-18, 21-15. Meanwhile, in the second match, PV Sindhu took on Jin Wei Gon and claimed the second game by 22-20, 21-17 to pull back into the match. In the third match, Malaysian player kept his pace and momentum to register a brilliant win over Indian ace Kidam by 21-19, 6-21, 21-16 in a match that lasted for 1 hour and 6 minutes. The fourth match of the fixture, Tresa Jolie and Gayatri Gopichand lost against Tina and Gung by 21-18, 21-17. On Tuesday, Indians men's table tennis wrote their name in the history books after winning gold medal at the Commonwealth Games 2022 in Birmingham. Facing Singapore in the men's team final, duo of Harmeet Desai and Satyan Nasekaran gave India a 1-0 lead, beating Young Isaac Kiwik and UN Cohen Pang with straight 3-0 game victory. Later on, the pressure was back on India as Sharad Kamal Achanta lost to Ji-Yu Clarence 3-1 in the best of 5 clash to level things for Singapore 1-1. Satyan came up for India in the third match against UN Cohen Pang and defeated the Singapore player 3-1 in best of 5 to get India the lead back to 2-1. Further, it didn't go right down to the wire as H. Desai defeated Z. Chiu, guiding the India men's table tennis team to the gold medal, beating 3-1 in best of 5. So viewers, that's all in the bulletin. Keep watching Nagaland TV.